Now, once again, thank you for being here. And without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to invite Ms. Vibha Coburn, our Chief Executive Officer, Manulife Holdings Berhad, to say a few words. Ms. Vibha?
Project manager for Wang Kelian, but also a photographer extraordinaire. You actually have to look at the book which he's produced, and so I've got it in my room if anyone wants to see it from our team. We also have Shamal. Shamal is there you are, Shamal. So founder of Perlis Wildlife and Nature. So we are coming to see you. I'm telling you that. This is my husband and I. I'm not talking about Manulife here. We're definitely coming there, and thank you for being so welcoming already. We also have ExCo members of Manulife Insurance Berhad and Manulife Investment Management. And thank you very much, ExCo members, for making time for this also. And it's very close to our heart what we do here, so it's great to have all of them there. So good morning and welcome again. I am using notes today. I don't normally do this, as most of you know, because my team has got a few messages they definitely want me to get out there, so I better not forget and get into their bad books. So I'm very honored and very honored to share some exciting developments on this partnership. But before that, I just wanted to talk about, and you looked at it in the video before when we saw that we take our role beyond financial services. So there is a great need for us, and there's a great want for us to give back to community. And through that, we actually have an impact agenda, which we have, it's globally for us, our impact agenda. And the impact agenda is 3 key pillars for that. So the first one is talking about a sustainable future. We talk about driving inclusive economic opportunity, especially for the underserved and underrepresented communities, and I'll come back to that. And we also talk about building a better business for a better world. So there's 3 pillars, and if you think about our partnership and how it actually matches 2 of those pillars very easily and very clearly, so there's a great focus. But before I come to the partnership, I just want to talk about, how we also give back to community. So we have a great partnership with MyKase, where we support Maniknya. And this is to ensure that people actually have a way to make income. And so we train them up to create their own little businesses. And so they're able to then have some additional income along with that. And so it actually advances local community development. Along with that, FinCo, so I've got, I think, let me see, if I actually look at how many people, at least 20%, don't quote me on this, almost 20% of our staff actually volunteer for FinCo. FinCo actually reaches out to schools. They actually educate students on just financial literacy, basically, but it's done in a fun way. So they actually ask them to come back on projects, to present, and this is the coaches. So our teams are coaches for FinCo. So I feel very proud that our team is very much involved in that financial literacy program. So each year we partner with diverse groups. I mean, we've been out, and we might do 1 day or 2 days. So what we decided 2-3 years ago is to actually institutionalize that. So in Manulife Malaysia, we have 2 days for volunteer, along with all the leave and all the public holidays, I have to say, in Malaysia. We actually give our staff 2 volunteer days every year. And they could be part of what we do, they could be part of what they do. And along with that, if they're going to FinCo or other stuff like that, there's flexibility. So we don't, that's not part of your 2 days volunteer leave. So we want to put our money where our mouth is. We want to put our efforts where our mouth is. And so we're not just sort of, not brainwashing, but just ticking boxes, but actually making sure we measure our impact on the community. So let me come back to this partnership then, right? This partnership which we're talking about. So it fulfills, like I said, 2 of our 3 pillars: accelerating a sustainable future, and along with that, the inclusive economic opportunity. So it's very interesting that if you focus on biodiversity, you can also ensure that you have economic opportunities for the community there. And so this is actually those two pillars together. So today is our launch of our flagship program on environmental and biodiversity preservation. And one of the things I'm very proud about is this has been supported by our global office. So this is not just us creating something in Manulife Malaysia either. It's through the organization. And, with Roots and Shoots, and I was just saying to TP and team before, so we attended the Symposium of Hope when Jane Goodall was here, Dr. Jane Goodall was here. And I remember saying to him, I was so starstruck. So it was quite an amazing experience, right? Quite an amazing experience. So, and it was a great day of actually bringing to fore the kind of great work which Roots and Shoots Malaysia does. So we are very, very thrilled to partner with UTP and team and to empower local communities and preserve our natural heritage. And that's why Wang Kelian, I mean, Tatpat, our CAO is here, and he was actually showing pictures of when he's been to Wang Kelian before we had this partnership. So that is really cool. And he's showing us all the pictures, and he's talking about how beautiful the area was also. So what we're actually doing through this particular partnership is a trail rehabilitation project. So we're launching it today, and we've actually already started work on it, right? And it's a 25-kilometer trail restoration over 3 years. And I think we're going to do 10 kilometers next year. So we're going to start like making sure that we have enough of that area started off. So it will rejuvenate ecotourism, as I spoke about before. It will generate employment opportunities. And, you can't rehabilitate without having maintenance workers and people who actually have to work on the trail. So adds a little bit more to the economic sort of prosperity of the community there. So this initiative will also establish an alternative route for the Wang Kelian and Kaki Bukit communities to connect and reducing their reliance on a single road through the hills. So I actually saw the map. So one's up there, Kaki Bukit, I presume is foothills, and Wang Kelian. So actually trying to connect those two. So it actually has an added benefit besides ecotourism also. So like I said, attracting more tourists, increasing a local income. I did say, do we have any accommodation? Apparently we do. So F&B and accommodation will improve, which will be great. And we will also bring in our financial literacy, the community literacy. So there's no use with people starting businesses if there's no financial literacy. So we will also, make sure that our team is involved in that. So this is, like I said, a very concrete step for us to fulfill our impact agenda. So in closing, I just want to say to everyone, thank you very much for being here, members of the media. Thank you very much for your interest. Our EXCO members, TP, Peter, Shamil, and team, and we've got Casper. We've actually got celebrity in the room also. He's a filmmaker, so it's really good. And we've got Miles, who's actually put the documentary together, which we will see. So we've got a few celebrities also. But thank you very much, everyone. You can see we're very excited about this, and we really look forward to actually hearing a bit more from all of you, and especially seeing the doco, because I haven't seen that one before. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Viba. Thank you very much for being here and being part of this fantastic adventure together with us. We are so excited. Actually, we've been excitedly talking about it for a while. So I'm just so glad that finally it's come to this formal occasion where we can share with the world and our friends from the media what we plan to do together. And I understand that we have amongst us the leadership team from Manulife. Thank you guys for being here. Everybody's busy, especially end of the year, so it's very much appreciated that you're here to hear our little story. I want to extend a special thank you to Marilyn, Siwai, Abby, and the amazing team that's been working on this project. One thing I did realize is that to work with Manulife, the paperwork must be top level, and the processes must be followed to the T, right? Which is fantastic, because I think that only elevated us, because it made sure that we're on point and that we do everything properly, which is how we'd like to do it anyway, right? It's just amazing that it happened within such a short time. So big round of applause for the team at Manulife. Thank you so much. This project actually started out as a much smaller scale project about a year and a half ago, with the support from Think City, the Habitat Foundation, We also had a little bit of funding through the Habitat Foundation from the Ministry of Finance to kickstart this project, which at the beginning was merely a documentary and a book and a small exhibition. Right? So the documentary you'll watch, and then the book is the one that's being displayed outside, and then we have a small exhibition that went with it. And because of the ripple effect of kind of shining the light onto this part of Perlis, it kind of had an organic growth into what then became the Wang Kelian Trail Maintenance Project, which is what we're now partnering with Manulife to continue to do. So I also want to acknowledge that we have other organizations that were part of that journey and continues to be part of the journey. The Sustainable Tourism Network of Malaysia, Jabatan Perhutanan Perlis, Perlis Nature Explorer, which is Shamil's NGO based in Perlis. We have Community Kaki Bukit and Community Wang Kelian. These are the local communities who are the beginning and the end, depending on which direction you're traveling, of this particular trail. And then we have the Perlis Climbers. So for those of you who are interested in climbing, the climbing scene in Wang Kelian is absolutely amazing. We have world-class climbers who are sportsmen who travel all the way to Perlis to do this. Right? You will see more of it in the documentary for those who have not visited, but there are some amazing gems that remain to be discovered. So I don't want to kind of spoil the documentary by saying too much, other than to say what Jane has always shared with us, Dr. Jane Goodall has always shared with us, which is in order to protect the environment, we necessarily need to protect the people that live around it. And I think this is the only way, not just for Wang Kelian, but for all over the world, for us to find ways to protect the natural environment and the animals that live in them, is to find ways to also work with the local communities that are directly impacted by what happens to that land. And I think that's what we are so excited to find a kind of a kindred spirit with Manulife, because your impact pillars clearly show us that that's what you are aware of and you want to do. So we're so excited. We're very, very clear that for the next 3 years, we'll be working very closely together. And I think this will be hopefully a shining example of what we can do together. And there'll be many more projects that we can work together on as well. So thank you again. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
Oh, okay, let's pretend to sign a little bit. Okay, we'll pretend to sign. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. And now we'll pass it over to the witnesses. We can pass it over to the witnesses. Okay, 1. Oh, just keep signing and smiling.
Just keep signing.
Just keep signing and smiling. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now we swap over the agreement, Manulife to Roots and Shoots and vice versa. Okay, just keep signing and smiling. Photographers, you have another chance. 1, 2, 3, and over to the witnesses. Okay, that's great. Now if we can have the 4 of you to just stand up with the agreement in front of the table so we can get a nice group photo with the agreement.
And like this?
Okay, yes. Okay, and now official photographer.
Local there, right? What was the starting point in your life? At what age suddenly you know that this is your calling? Like suddenly you want to, protect and take care of this space, this biodiversity, this nature around you. Maybe you want to share that story, that trigger.
Okay. First of all, I was born as a kampung boy.
Mm-hmm.
I live with my grandma and my mom in the beautiful kampung, where in my backyard I can see every day the a limestone hill a bit far away from my house, and then there's a lot of nature surrounding me. So I think that I can't live there forever because I can't. Actually, I done further my study because I don't want to leave my grandma and my kampung. And all I need is to be as much as I can in this like a simple person in kampung. So the moment I start to recognize everything around me is when I was around 11, I still remember. I had my first camera from my uncle, and then for that camera, the Konica, I start taking pictures everywhere around my kampung. And then every end of year, we have this so-called wind-to-wind season that the wind is coming directly from the northeast. And every year, I've been waiting for this moment to go to the forest, to go to the whole kampung, to play with my friends, to go swimming in the river, to explore everything. And that will be my best thing to do, that I shouldn't forget, and then I have to pass this all to my kids, my next generation. And then I realized that the local doesn't really appreciate what they have in our hometown. They usually say that we have nothing. We don't have any mall. We don't have any fun fair or anything that same like in the big cities. But I try to promote them that we have such a beautiful nature surrounding, and then so I realized that we need to do something. I have to do something from my photos, my everything that I keep. So that is why I started the page, and then it's good because the first post was about burning rubber trees that turns into an autumn forest. And then suddenly the local newspaper pick up that story, and then it became viral. So I feel like, oh, it's good. So I have to find something that different to promote our nature. And then I heard about the stump-tailed macaque, which I first saw in 2012 when I was driving down to Wang Kelian. Then I start following the macaque until I met Peter, NGP, and everyone else. So that's the starting point to call for to be a champion.
I think sometimes when we grew up there, we take, because we see things every day, right? So we kind of like take for granted or don't see the beauty of it, and it takes a little bit of different perspective, right? We got a chance to actually go up to Wang Kelian on the 13th of November when they launched the Denai Warisan, me and Marilyn and Siwa and our colleague Jazz, and it was so beautiful. And I mean, the drive there, the people there, the warmth there. So I'm gonna then route it to Marilyn, who would share a little bit on her journey there, and also how is it that this is a strategic choice for Manulife to partner with, to invest in. Yeah, over to you, Marilyn.
Well, I think first thing is what we've mentioned. The Wang Kelian initiative, the partnership with Roots and Shoot, is very much aligned in terms of our impact agenda. And I think it was shared by Viva. There are the two key pillars. One is accelerating sustainable future. Number two is in terms of driving inclusive economic opportunities. And it was also mentioned, when you watch that video, you actually see the whole environmental sustainability is driven by the people. And if we are not and this is where our values align. When we support, the community, we drive the sustainability. in our business, it's about health, it's about protection, it's about legacy. And in the video, you've also heard from Shamil, from Along, who is not here today. They kept mentioning leaving their legacy behind. Not just for this generation, not for next generation, it's for thousands of years. And I think that's the least and the best thing that as Manulife, we are able to support the community today. Not to mention also, when we always, we heard about good corporate citizenship. This is, again, like what Viva said, putting our words in our mouth. This is the time for us to take action.
Right. And I think Manulife wouldn't even found Wang Kelian if it's not for Roots and Shoots and our, having that amazing introduction to the works that Roots and Shoots does. But I want to then go to Peter. I mean, how did Roots and Shoots even stumble to Wang Kelian, which is so furthest up north, the smallest state, like it's so out of our Google Maps radar. So even I'm trying to make sure my data have coverage. If not, I'll be like sesat when I'm driving there. So how did you even went there, Peter? Share with us your journey.
Don't worry, it's so far north. if Celcom or Digi tak cover your reception, you get a Thai line.
I need to get a new SIM card. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm actually a wildlife photographer, and this was just outside of COVID. I was looking to photograph all the 26 primate species in Malaysia because a lot of our biodiversity, sadly, including our primates, are still data deficient. Some of them don't even have enough photos or enough video coverage. So that was what I was looking for. I was actually looking for the stump-tailed macaque or the bird kentoi. And I was looking, I was like, does anyone know where this monkey is? So I went to our researchers, they were like, you can try this person, Shamil. We think he's the only one who knows. So I was contacting Shamil. So here is a little nugget of information and a little acknowledgement. This whole project would not be possible without Shamil's wife, Bibi. Because, as Bibi told me a few days ago, did you know Shamil didn't even want to bring you around when you first reached out to him? I was like, really now? Rahsia terbongkar. And it's because of Bibi. She was like, maybe you should. So we are here today because of Bibi. So thank you, Bibi. So I was looking for the stump-tailed macaque, and I reached out to Shamil, who has now become like a brother to me, and we were going around looking for the stump-tailed macaque. And I remember my first impression when I got there, I was like, this is amazing. Why doesn't anyone know about this? How did I even not know about this? This is quite terrible, As a Malaysian, we have so much beauty in our own country that we aren't even aware about, that we cannot even put a name to. And that's when my curiosity was triggered. And so we embarked on this project to get a book out, a documentary out, to spread more awareness. People are always asking me, is there a point to awareness? I'm like, yes, there is a point to awareness, because if we cannot even put a name to what we have, if we cannot even put an image, a face to an animal that we have, how are we supposed to protect it, right? We have a saying in Bahasa here in Malaysia, tak kenal maka tak cinta. Benar, kan? So it's time we need to spread more awareness about what we have, and going forward, involving also the local communities. So hence Project Denai Warisan in Wang Kelian.
Right. Tak kenal maka tak cinta. In translation, you don't know, then you don't love. Betul. Now that you know, you fell in love. Betul. Right? Just a note to the members of the media, if you have any questions at any time, just raise your hand or get the mic to you. But just moving forward to that, now that the secret is out that you didn't even want to talk to Peter, right? So how do you feel now that getting external support, outside people coming in, giving so much support to what your passion, your love, and your that ownership for your space, right? And giving you that full support for you to do that. How do you feel about that?
At first, I feel very protective. That's why we don't accept outsiders to come, because I focus on local first, and then now it's all changed. I have I need the outsiders to convince the local that what we have, because I usually play tourist in my hometown, just to approach certain people, certain areas, certain kampung, to find a cave or anything that any wildlife or biodiversity that we have. And then after a few years, they know that I am from Perlis, so no one will like this nature guy is coming back like that. So that is when I think that we need a help from outsiders, because we want to show them that these people are coming from 1,000 miles away, from KL, from everywhere, just to come to see our nature. Then we can like convince them that why don't we protect our own nature for them, because for ourselves, then because we can generate income from that, and it still need to be balanced between sustainable and compared to the like there's a certain area that has been developed for touristic place, and then I will ask everyone to help for this. So with the help of outsiders like Ruth and Shu and Manulife today, I think we can expand our awareness. We can spread more awareness among locals with the help, and especially with the support from every people that coming down to Perlis.
Right. I think the thing is sustainability, or to accelerate the sustainable future. It takes a village. It's a collaborative effort, right? And Marilyn mentioned just now about corporate citizenship, about us being partners and collaborating to achieve this collective vision goal that we want, especially for our future generation. So I want to just go back to Marilyn. Over the coming years, I mean, Viva also mentioned this is going to be about 3 years journey for us. Over the coming years, what do you foresee? How can we implement this corporate citizenship with our partners at Wang Kelian?
Thank you. Before I respond to your question, I just would like to supplement what Shamil has mentioned. I think the help comes from the people around us, but for today's occasion, this is where we are reaching out for help with the media. Yes, it's about the partnership between Manulife and Roots and Shoots, but I think it's important for us to spread the word and make sure that Malaysians, all of us as Malaysians, is aware of this initiative. It's supportive of this initiative. And now that you dah kenal, then you can jatuh cinta, kan? So again, thank you very much for the media for making time, and we look forward to your support and your continued support on this initiative. To the point of support, as corporate citizens, we just in Manulife, we don't want this to be just words on paper or it's a mission statement. To all of our leadership who are here, right, for both within the insurance as well as our colleagues in the investment, they set an example, right? So we have our volunteer days. We have our contribution to all of our corporate investment initiatives. And what we do is we want this to be part of our business. When people say it's part of our life, where Manulife puts it is it's a way of our business. It's not just one section, one department, one activity. So for Wang Kelian, there are 2 areas that we're supporting as Manulife. Number 1 is the rehabilitation of the Denai Warisan trail. So within the first year, we will be looking at supporting the first 10 kilometer trail that takes us to Wang Kelian and Kaki Bukit, or Kaki Bukit to Wang Kelian. And then the remaining years will be to continue the rehabilitation of the 26 kilometer trail. Within that trail, how we're supporting is also supporting on the research, the nursery, building of the nurseries of the flora and the fauna, as well as the ensuring that the environment the research is kept alive. The second area that we are supporting this is where it gets exciting, is all of our colleagues within Manulife will be encouraged to take our Manulife financial literacy program to ground. So the second area of support will be in terms of capacity building, training, as well as coaching the local community in terms of setting up their business, growing their business, and sustaining their business. So this will be conducted by our Manulife colleagues, all 500 of us.
Wow. All of us. I'm so happy to see that we get to turun padang, be on ground and be part of the change. And now, lastly, to Peter, who just went up there to take photos. Now he has expanded to not only taking photos, but uplifting the economic situation of the space, Wang Kelian Kaki Bukit, of all the workshops, the social entrepreneurship and all that. What is actually your aspiration now, looking at what amazing potential this collaboration will be?
Well, I hope that this is only one one small step in a long journey, and it goes beyond the communities of Kaki Bukit, of Wang Kelian, of Perlis. It actually speaks to our entire country. For Malaysia, we have a lot more small towns, small villages that have been ignored, have been forgotten, have been left behind. And I hope that this is one model that we can bring to other small towns and other small villages, especially if they have the access to natural wonders that can be ecotourism assets. And by asset, I mean that it generates an income, not just for the local communities, but also for the state governments. And so I thank Manulife, because this is all about putting the money where the mouth is, right? Walking the talk, to not just tell other people who live with the rivers and the forests that it's your job to protect it. It's not. It's actually all our jobs to help each other protect it. Because without the rivers, without the forests, we here in Klang Valley also suffer. Where does our food come from? Where does our fresh water come from? We know from living in the Klang Valley for so many years, that it's an annual occurrence. Oh, water cut. Water cut for the 15th time before even reaching June, right? But this is just going to get worse if we don't reach out to our fellow Malaysians, and if we don't help them to create a viable living with nature, with our natural resources. We cannot expect the government or other people to look after our natural resources. It is also tanggungjawab kita bersama as a Malaysian. And I hope this is where Manulife, together with Roots and Shoots, can make that call, not just to other corporations, but also to everyone in this beautiful country that we have, to protect what we have for ourselves, for one another, and also for all the generations to come after us.
Right. And I think this is what, I think when we talk about community partnership, community itself, the word is communal, is togetherness, right? And partnership is like, it's not just one person goes up, is elevating everyone, with our consciousness about the nature around us. Now that we are always in the concrete city, our consciousness about the nature outside of the city, and then also for the people outside to know that they can reach out for support from everyone, whether it's in the city, outside, inside, everywhere. It's togetherness. It takes collaboration for all of us to achieve.
Yes, just like Manulife's tagline, we can make it better, and better is where it will take us to.
Yeah. So, it has taken us here, it's taken us to Wang Kelian, and it will take us to a sustainable future. And with that, I thank you for all three of you to have a great conversation with us. And any media have any questions? Maybe we open up. No?
So maybe if there's no question, can I just, there's a special announcement
Sure.
actually. You know, everyone that you see on the video are real people. It's not a movie, right? You've met Shamil, you've met Bibi, and the two adorable children, Precious. Fahmi.
Yeah,
Where
where's
are
Fahmi? Ada, there. Fahmi's
That's
at the back
Fahmi.
there. Hi, Fahmi.
And one more person, Along. He was also supposed to be here, but you know what? He's just graduated today as a guide.
Oh.
So it's very special, and this is real life stories.
Yeah.
And we would like to call out to everybody to make a real life difference.
That is true. Thank you so much. I think then I'll pass it back to you, Kamini.
Fighting for the